This video is all about common connection errors and their solutions. And I know what you're thinking, Dallin, can't I just follow a DT and that'll do the work for me? Simply put, no. While you're on the call, you should be actively seeking to fix their problem. So here's some of the common connection issues and their solutions. So first off, if a customer is getting a valid IP address and is unable to ping, but unable to browse, this means there's an issue with their settings. The packets have a pathway from their local area network to their wide area network, so you want to check their connection type. Check DHCP, PPPoE, static IP, MAC authentication, that kind of stuff. You'll also want to check any proxy settings, make sure you delete cookies and cache, and it could also be a DNS issue. So if you set the router's DNS to use Google's or any other DNS located in the expandables, that could fix the problem. If a customer is not getting a valid IP address, that usually means the customer is not connecting to their router properly. So check the cabling, make sure the computer is plugged into the router. If they're connecting wirelessly, make sure they're connected to the right SSID and their Wi-Fi credentials are correct. Log into the router if you need to. And you also want to make sure that the wireless adapter is enabled on their computer. Make sure the router is plugged in and turned on, and make sure they're actually close enough to connect to the router. You'd be surprised how often customers do stuff like this. If the customer is getting a valid IP address but they cannot ping, this suggests that the packets they send when they're attempting to browse are making it to the router, but they're not making it past that point and into the wide area network. This is usually what will happen if the radio is down. If a radio is down, we will try a few things. A simple power cycle will fix a large amount of issues. This is why there are so many unplug it and plug it back in tech support jokes. If a power cycle doesn't work, then we need to make sure that the PoE box is connected properly and giving power to the radio. Refer to our other video about making sure and checking cabling for that. If the radio is online but the customer cannot browse, then we might try bypassing to see if they can connect straight into the ISP service. If they can, we know the router is having issues. This could be some settings issues, or maybe the router is just not working properly, which power cycling might actually fix. If the customer is getting slow speeds, the most common fix for this issue is to make sure they are not capping their bandwidth, or simply making sure they're not trying to do something that their bandwidth won't allow. Anytime a customer says that they can connect with some devices but not others, it's either something wrong with their equipment or it's some kind of user error, which most of the time it's just user error. And if that's the case, we're going to refer them to the manufacturer. It is extremely common for customers to be unable to connect because their account is inactive. Simply paying their bill will fix this issue. And with every issue, checking the notices are helpful if there's an outage, because the solution is that Tier 2 is working on it. And the customer just needs to be patient with Tier 2 to get it fixed. So in short, yes, you want to follow a DT, but hopefully this video has given you some insight as to why the DT is having you do what it's having you do, and maybe it'll help you understand how these things will actually fix the problem. So thanks again for tuning in, guys. We'll see you on the next video, and good luck on all your calls.